The Bounce. KNOC, Natchitoches, J240EY, Natchitoches. Throwbacks and good vibes all day, every day. We are 95.9, The Bounce. Natchitoches' home for urban vibes. And now, you're listening to Talk Back Natchitoches with Pastor Steve Harris.
Good morning and welcome to Talk Back Natchitoches. Yours truly, Pastor Stephen Harris at 95.9 The Bounce. Listen, it is Friday. We want you to share, like, and invite. We want as many as can to tune in this morning. And we're going to begin, as we've always done, with the word of prayer. Lord God, how we thank you. Praise, glorify, magnify, and lift you up. For this is truly the day that you've made. And we're going to rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. Oh, gracious Father, you've been so good to us. You've been better to us than we've been to ourselves. And because of that, we say thank you. We pray right now, gracious Father, that this segment will be both informative, inspiring, and impactful. That the ears of the listeners may be receptive to what you're saying, and it will be written in indelible ink on the hearts of everyone who will hear what you're saying. It is in the matchless and awesome name of Jesus Christ we do pray. Amen and amen. Listen, a lot of things going on around the state, the country, and locally. I just want people to ask God for discernment so that you will not be pulled into things that it causes you to look bad, because sometimes people are not really interested in what's right. They're interested in what they presume to be or assume to be right for them at that particular time. And so, I always say I don't like to get into, that people will kind of pull you into things, So make sure you're not pulled into things that at the end of the day, it sounded right when they were talking about building a tower that reached to heaven, and they were talking about building a gated city, and it sounded right, and everybody agreed to it, and they began to do it, and God said, "Oh, wait a minute, let's go down and see what they're doing." And they knew that had they asked God, God would have told them, "I didn't tell y'all to do this." So they didn't want to ask God about it, but they asked others around them about it, and they all agreed. But listen, if God don't agree with it, I don't care how many. See, this ain't no democracy with God. This is a theocracy. It's where God rules. At the end of the day, no matter what type of government you think you have, it's still a theocracy where God rules. Not where I rule, not where you rule, but where God rules. Listen, thank God today our guest has arrived. I've known her for some years when she was, I guess, a little shawty. Let's say a little shawty. T, what's going on, baby?
Blessed.
Good. I see. You're hanging around my other girl. What's going on?
How you doing?
All is well. Listen, first of all, let's get our audience that's listening, Talk Back audience family, the Bounce family, to know who you are. Tell them a little bit about who you are.
Ty Johnson. A lot of people know me as T. Mm-hmm. I'm the founder of The Color of My Skin and the new founded Raven Phoenix organization, entrepreneur, Natchitoches, Louisiana resident.
Okay. And what is Phoenix?
Raven Phoenix.
Raven Phoenix.
Raven Phoenix, yeah.
What is that all about? You know?
So, Raven Phoenix, you know, a lot of people don't realize the definition of a raven and also the definition of a phoenix. So it's giving us that, you know, that black power. You know, phoenix is a fictionary bird that comes back through his own ashes. So to me, that's a powerful symbol because, you know, as we're talking about criminal justice reform and injustice that's going on in Louisiana, it's a lot of people, being that we're the incarceration capital, it's a lot of people that had to go through that, come out, and be reborn, you know, and come back from their own ashes. There's a lot of people that was counted out, and they came back and showed you what they can be.
Right.
That's
And,
what the Raven Phoenix
and the
comes from.
crazy part about it, though, is if you've never experienced our, especially Louisiana's, criminal justice system, and to even call it sometimes criminal justice.
Right.
If you look at what Israel calls their citizens, even when sometimes we get in trouble, and we all. Let me tell you, and y'all know Pastor Jones well. I met him in prison, and he literally preached his way out of prison. But there's others. My good friend, I'm talking about, when I tell you he's my good friend, he even may be listening right now. His name is Stephen Stewart. Stephen Stewart made some mistakes. And to us, it was horrible. To me, he's still my friend.
Right.
What transpired. But he got in Angola and all these, whether it was, what's the guy he's a rapper? He's a rapper.
D1? C. Murder.
C. Murder. He ministered to C. Murder. He ministered to everybody in there. Stephen will be on the show soon. But there were others who were trying to get out. He said, Pastor, let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. I should still be in, but God. He said, God's the only reason I'm here today. He said, I owe everything because what they accused me of, it was true. I did it. He says, God gave me such favor that even the family, and these weren't on anybody's, that he unalived their son. But their son was in some stuff too.
Right.
In the same thing he was in. But he just happened to be a rich boy. And he unalived him. But they became such followers of him that they understood God had changed his life. And I'm going to tell you something. When I would go and minister wherever I was at, whether it was in Wynn, Angola, or wherever I was at, this is what I would tell them. To put them at ease. The only difference between y'all and me, y'all got caught, and I did.
That's true too.
That was the only difference. Because some of the things I did in life, I should have been in the same place. But thanks be unto God, it didn't take him arresting me, put me in a cell that, you know how it is. You have to, every day you're getting counted, So, when we talk about reform, we were going pretty good on
You want to say John Bell?
on the John Bell Edwards. A lot of people were coming home on the John Bell Edwards because some of the things that they were going to prison for
Didn't warrant the sentence.
Right. And what about the white collar crimes? Or like I always said, they so worried about bedroom sins, which it does cause problems with a few people.
Right.
But what about the boardroom sins, where millions of people are affected because of a few folks' decisions? So that's what we're talking about now. the ability to, if this is about reform, how can I buy stock in a private prison if this is about reform?
So you actually touched on the topic that that's supported what the Raven Phoenix organization is about. So I'm glad you brought up John Bell Edwards, which leads to we're talking about, we have Governor Landry now. The thing is, a lot of people, you know, they've got in the process even where they're trying to get him out of office, but we're in a religious country. We're in this, a lot of people are religious. You have even more people that are spiritual. So this is the thing. If we know now is the time, what better way to show how powerful God is when getting Governor Landry to start saying stuff from our point of view? Because us changing people that's in office, that's not really changing the problem per se. But if you can show, I'm a living example of what God can do. You know, like you were just saying about the other people that felt a certain way. I myself experienced it to where I know it's only God the reason I'm here able to speak right now. You know, I actually met people that done less than what I did, or was charged with less than what I was, and had more time than I did. So with that being said, I know that's God. I literally fought this case from Christmas Day 2021 until January the 27th this year. So with that being said, at the beginning, I had a judge that she knew she was sending me away from the time she met me, and never knew me outside of what went on, because my situation was in Lafayette Parish. I really don't have any ties to Lafayette, so they don't know the work that I do in the community versus here. They don't know who I am, or they didn't know who I was as a person. So I went from looking at a judge that knew that they were sending me away for a long amount of time, also an ADA that knew what he was going to do, and up until probably 3 months prior to me taking my sentence, up until that day, that ADA still had that same mind frame, and I watched God work. I watched that ADA allow this new judge to do what she saw fit versus pushing me getting the max. So with me experiencing that myself, that brought me to another thing that I know what Governor Landry can do. So everybody talk about the problems. The problems, it's easy to bring up the problems. We know the problems, but how many people that actually gone to him or to his staff and came up with a feasible solution? You know, we don't know exactly why he feels the way he feels about crime and being tough on crime. Because my thing is, Louisiana has been known for the incarceration capital ever since I can remember. So we know this is $1 billion business. Let's be real. Some of the things people are asking for is unrealistic, because we know this is $1 billion business. This country is built on slavery and taking money. But with
slavery
that being said,
now has just been turned around to be
legal.
Incarcerated.
It's
legal
slavery.
Legal slavery.
But with that being said, how can we, as a whole, the people that's for and the people that's against, can come up with a feasible solution to where people are treated as humans and not as cattle, and they can still profit off of it. So that's where I come in, where versus us being known as the incarceration capital, we can be known as the rehabilitation capital. Right. Because it's money in rehabilitation,
reform, you know. Look, I read much of your proposal and things like that. The people has to buy in and know, here's a living example that it does work, you know. But many of the things that they have in some of these facilities, it seem like to me you would be, if a person doesn't have a life sentence, watch this. If a person doesn't have a life sentence, it seems to me it would be more feasible to give them skills that when they come out, they don't have to come back in. But it ain't like that.
It's not like that here.
Right. Not like that here. Not like that in most of the United States. But when you go into places like Israel, they do want them to be productive citizens.
Yes.
And so they train them to become productive citizens, that when they come out, they got something that they can fall back to. they carpenters and they're licensed and sometimes the only education person really get, and because we give them all this stuff that they have to cope with. And let me say this: we've had some real horrific things to happen that many times y'all have talked about it before. Y'all shared the other side of what you've gone through and things. But everybody don't know that. They don't think they know is words you did this and this. I've done some things too.
But see, this is the thing. When it comes to that, you're going to always have people incarcerated. I learned it from being incarcerated. You have some people that only perform at their highest potential if they're being micromanaged.
Yeah.
You see that at work. You know, you can go to Walmart and there's some workers, they know what they need to do and they come in, they're going to do what they need to do.
Right.
You have some workers, they're barely going to do anything unless the manager's coming by, some type of supervisor. So jails and prisons going to always have a population. And that's the thing. Like, attorneys still gonna have jobs because people look at it and you feel like, okay, as an attorney, why would you fight for reform? We have this preconception that everybody that's involved in the justice system or law enforcement want to see people in jail.
Right.
But when you get older and you get mature and you start seeing with your spiritual eye versus your carnal mind, you realize it's way more people that want to see people treated like human than there isn't. That's just like negatives we talk about. Oh man, the kids gotten out of control, the kids bad, this, that, you hear that all the time. But I don't think people realize that's really a small percentage of teenagers doing what they're not supposed to do versus doing what they are. If you don't believe that, you just look at Negative Central as a 5A school, which means it has anywhere of probably 1,800 to 2,000 kids over. If the majority of that population was this wild, out of control teen that they're describing, how do you think that school would actually be?
Right.
We have way more shootings. Don't get me wrong. One shooting is one too many. One murder is one too many. But we still live in a place where you can sit on your porch.
Right.
Where you're okay with your grandmother, your elderly aunt living alone. Because, the chances of something happening is slim. So if we still sitting here dwelling and every time you go to someone's house, you hear them talking about, man, everybody out of control, the violence, this. All you hear is negativity. Then that's the waves that you're putting out. That's the frequency that you're putting out. But if we have more people actually educating themselves and figuring out what we can do as a whole, as a community, because we know it takes a village.
Right.
It takes a village.
Right.
So if the village is turning a blind eye, how the kids ever going to see?
Right. We're going to take a break here. And when we come back, can you talk a little bit about what we're dealing with is youth violence and things. Well, how can we, because I was in a class just this week where some men came up with a great solution and it looks very good. And tell us about what can we do to help transform what we've considered as me and others, that our youth there's no hope. So
when we come back, I definitely want us to touch bases on that, and also the main fact of my number one goal since I come home is to shut Tallulah down.
Come on,
Tallulah
especially
prison.
Tallulah,
and that's going to. When you talk about teens, a lot of people don't realize that this been going on since the 90s. Tallulah is the worst prison in the region.
Yeah.
Touch bases on that.
All right, that'll work. Yeah, Tallulah is woo. Tallulah, the only thing they do is get them ready for the big prison.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Huh?
It's worse than that. It's man, that just being that experience and you realize that entire town, it has a wicked spirit.
A mindset.
It's a wicked spirit roaming through that entire town.
Yeah.
So much to the point that the wrong is okay. Because you're talking about generations and generations of this. Tallulah is, when it comes to family-wise, Tallulah is Natchez. Everybody is kin. Everybody related.
Yeah.
And they just started accepting.
I remember they had that big shooting thing in Tallulah.
It's bad.
It's bad. And see, I went to school with a lot of folk from Tallulah. And I've been connected with Tallulah a long time, but you're right. Tallulah is Tallulah. Whatever the definition of Tallulah, and I don't think. Look up the definition. What the word Tallulah means? It's almost like tangible hope.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Lafayette?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know if you remember. I want to say it's close to University. I don't know if it's still for sale.
And we are back, and T. And can I tell you T?
Yeah.
Because that's what I've always known. As a matter of fact, she and my wife are kinfolk. So, T, you talk about Tallulah, and I think Tallulah ranks #1 in crime and all kind of stuff like that. But anyway, we want to talk about what can we do to change the mindset of me concerning our youth.
So we're going to go to a deeply rooted issue. I have a brother. Some people know, some people don't, but I have a brother that actually did 22 years incarcerated. But before he did that sentence, he was at Tallulah Youth Detention Center back in the early 90s when it was a detention center for the youth. Back then, that place had to be shut down due to them raping little boys, physically, mentally abusing them. I'm not sure if it had any death with the youth, but it had a lot of close calls. So it was shut down then, and it was reopened as a men's facility. During that time, you had death, same thing, sexual abuse, mental abuse. Then, and not too long ago in the late 2000s or the 20s, they turned it into a women's facility. It was an all-women's facility up until about September of last year. Then the new St. Gabriel opened back up, and they shipped probably 80-85% of the women out. And now it's back on male. Now it's a male and female facility. Yes. So I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm watching, and also became a part of this slave cattle of humans. And the problem as a whole is a lot of people who has never experienced that don't care.
Right. Is it privately owned or is
it's actually ran by the Madison Parish Sheriff's Office, which is the parish there, Madison Parish.
Right.
So then when you look at this, like me doing some research and getting assistance, finding out the warden is not even our primary target on why it's being ran this way, because the warden can only run this as a concentration camp if the sheriff is okay with it.
Right.
Sheriffs are elected officials. So mind you, Tallulah, a lot of people don't know, Tallulah Prison, which is known as Madison Parish Correctional Facility right now, is that's their local housing also. So when you get arrested in that parish, that's where you're going.
Okay.
But it's also a DOC holding facility.
Okay.
For the state.
Right.
So with that being said, that means the way it's being ran, mind you, almost every correction officer that works there is from Tallulah. A large percentage is from Tallulah.
Right.
You have mother and daughter working there, father and son, uncles, cousins, siblings. So it's their livelihood.
Right.
So if you're watching this go on, and the people that's doing that is from there, the sheriff is the person that's in charge of saying, no, this is not going on, or this needs to get better. They're okay with it. It's a problem with the entire town.
And what's the population of that?
Town?
I know the town because it's one of the smaller, because education and incarceration go hand in hand. If you know anything about their educational system, it's kind of
and it shows within their correction officers.
Right.
When you hear them speak, the majority of them speak as such. So now these are people that's in charge of other people's lives on a daily basis. Tallulah Max is probably close to 1,000. It's over 900 for sure.
The facility?
The actual facility. So you probably you have almost the same amount of people in the facility as you have in the town.
Walking in the town. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So that is a major employed.
It's all they know.
Yeah.
It's like down south when you younger and you hear, I'm gonna go work offshore. That's all you hear the youngsters say, because that's what they know down south. The closer you get, so there you have this all they know. So what do we do when this correction officer that's working here now, even if they're not physically all the time abusing, they're mentally abusing, but how do you even want them to begin to think differently when their father probably was working there or their uncle? So mind you, this type of abuse been going on since the early 90s. This is a way of life now.
Right. Well, I was given the opportunity to ultimately be a millionaire when CCA was open. Well,
it's still open, but it's more. I think it's an immigration facility.
So CCA is open, and my deacon, he bought stock in it. I think it's about at that particular time, maybe it was about a few dollars. You know, it went from a few dollars all the way up to, I know, around $47 a share. Oh, he said, Pastor, you better go and get into this right now. And the Lord wouldn't let me do it. Because I'm saying to myself, I'm making money off the backs
of
our people.
Pain at that, not just off our people, off their pain and suffering.
And I'm going to CCA, which Pastor Jones was there.
You're going to ministry and behind the scenes. You know better than.
And listen, sometimes I look back and I say, man, maybe I should have, you know. But then I can hold my head up high and say, I didn't do that.
You didn't sell out.
It was easy to do. But how many folks turn around?
So I'm gonna show you how this is going on right now. You know, social media is what's powerful, and it's crazy you brought that up. The other day, I literally just saved a feed on Instagram because it was a young black guy. He was talking about noodles. He was saying how a lot of people don't realize noodle is probably the hottest commodity between that cigarettes and coffee. That's the biggest. Yeah. So he was saying like he was trying to get a government contract with putting healthy noodles in, and because then he started breaking it down to like his people that was on the video saying how you can make this much money, why not capitalize this, that, and the other. But what I love most about it is so many people in the comments was like, so you telling me you showing us a way how to capitalize off our own people, off their hurt, off their pain, and to see a feed full of that versus you had on a small percentage saying, give me the information on how I can do this. It was way more people like, no, we shouldn't be doing this at all. Families are already struggling. Right. Like, people don't understand when you're incarcerated,
they making
your
big
family
time
go
money
through with you.
Yes. My brother wrote a play called Doing Time. And what his mind frame was, while that person is doing time, I'm doing time with him, you know, and it's a thing that we never think about.
Right.
What the family is going through, and all of us have had family members who are doing time, and me personally, while family members doing time, I'm always thinking, what's going on with them? What's going through
that's a deeper conversation, because once you go through that, and like looking at me right now, everybody think, okay, you good, you out, you okay, but I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
Well, and I'm glad to know that you can admit that.
I can admit it, you know, and the tongue is powerful, so I'm constantly telling myself, and I'm constantly speaking into existence. Yeah, I'm going to be okay. I'm blessed and highly favored for sure, but this stretch right here was only a 5-month stretch. I'm gonna show you how bad Tallulah is. Out of those 5 months, 3 I was at Tallulah. Those were the three worst months of my life. Not just incarceration, but my entire life. And not because of the things you expect. You go to jail, you expect fights or beef or this, that, and other, because you have people from up north and down south. That's not even the problem.
Right.
The problem is the way that they dehumanize you so bad to where they have so many people psychologically gone. And once they take your mind, they have you.
That's right.
And it's everybody can say, oh yeah, I'm strong, I can do this, I can do that. So mind you, if you reach out to your people, which I'm going to do and not stop doing, you're going to lockdown. If you're telling your people about what's going on, you're going to lockdown. But me, I'm going to stand for something.
Right.
So out of those 3 months, a month of that, on 3 different occasions, I was in lockdown.
Wow.
I was in lockdown. The first time I went to lockdown for probably almost 2 weeks for taking seasoning into the cafeteria. I probably was only there for a few days. And they sell the seasoning, mind you. They sell it. So what else is there for you to do with seasoning besides put it on your food?
Right.
Where I just come from, you was able to put seasoning on your food. You was able to take it in the dining hall and put it on your food. That's what they sell it for.
Right.
But that wasn't the problem. The problem was I'm asthmatic, and Tallulah had been getting away with still allowing people to smoke inside, which DOC banned that years ago.
Right.
So if you're getting DOC funding, that wasn't supposed to be allowed.
Right.
So when I first made it there, it's a big sign out front that say no smoking, tobacco free, this, that, and other. So I didn't think anything of it. As soon as they put me in the dorm, you walk in, there's people chain smoking everywhere. I let the COs know,
And
like, I can't be here. Yeah, it was okay.
Right.
It was okay. Mind you, me being there, having a family behind me is what made DOC enforce that, so it made me a target. So when this first happened, the CO said, okay, I'm about to let the warden know. The warden's going to move you out of here, this, that, and other. So instead of them shipping me to a facility that doesn't smoke inside, they made an example. Like, I literally almost died there several times. I had multiple asthma attacks. I wasn't given a breathing treatment until a week, like around a week before I left. These people, I'm literally like can't breathe. The other inmates concerned didn't even want to go to sleep because of my asthma and because of me having asthma attacks. They wasn't taking me to the nurse. I didn't get an inhaler till probably a month or two after being there, and that's a rescue inhaler they gave me. Rescue inhaler is for rescuing, saving you, yeah.
Right, just
so I had no treatment.
But something that would maintain that you were healthy and things like that, they didn't have that for.
No, they intentionally. So they left me in their dorm, and it took for me to have someone with my phone post on my Facebook and tag Madison Parish Sheriff Department. Within less than 24 hours, the warden came, the assistant warden, and the captain. They didn't really come because they cared about my health. They came because it was made public. The first question I was asked was, do you have a phone in here? I'm like, no. Well, how are you posting on your social media? Someone else had my phone. So now they're upset.
Right.
So we're going to make an example out of it. Now it's public. You already knew I had this asthma condition. My family had already called, and we was trying to work on, like, just getting me moved to another facility. Instead of them doing that, we're going to make an example out of you. And they moved me to the workers' dorm and made the workers' dorm only non-smoking. Mind you, out of all the dorms back there, we're going to make the workers' dorm non-smoking. What do you think that costs? Because imagine if you the one working 12 to 16 hours a day. Right. Everybody else can smoke in their dorm, but now we can't because this person is in here.
So that's a target now.
It's
not
a target
only
now
with the system, but with the ones who live in there.
Yes. So now
there's a problem.
I'm almost about to fight every day, 2-3 times a day. But when they see you not scary, like they gonna talk. Like the women's facility is different from the men. It's a lot of mess. It's just like on the streets. So they're gonna talk. They're gonna try to gang up. They're gonna, but like when they see you ready to fight, okay, we gonna talk. That's what we're gonna do. But we're gonna make it live a nightmare. We're gonna make it horrible for you. So mind you, this is the working dorm, and Tallulah don't really have jobs for women. They're lying.
Right.
But the ones that's working, they're working in the kitchen. Majority of them. 12 out of probably 20 workers work in the kitchen.
Right.
So now they've teamed up with the sergeant in the kitchen and made me a target.
Yeah.
So when I go in the kitchen with my seasoning, this leads to me being in lockdown. And the write-up said aggravated disobedience.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So that you done something
Yes.
retaliative.
So now this leads to me going to high court. A lot of people don't understand what high court is. I didn't just get a regular write-up and stayed in lockdown. Now you give me double jeopardy. Because I go to court and they take some of my good time. So now they've added 2 weeks onto my sentence. For me taking seasoning in there, and I already done 2 weeks in lockdown.
Is this after are you sentenced to go there?
Yeah, you already sentenced.
From Lafayette?
I was sentenced in Lafayette. So I could have done my entire 5 months in Lafayette. You're not supposed to, because once you're classified as DOC, you have to go to a facility that houses DOC. But DOC in Louisiana is a joke. They don't care about calculating you as much as other systems, so people tend to sit there longer. So my family and I, we pushed for me to get to a facility with classes because I could have taken a class and got, even if it's 20 days, 40 days off, I'm home 20 days sooner than I'm scheduled to be. So I got shipped to a DOC facility, one of their houses, which is Concordia. Concordia, they couldn't put me in classes because DOC never sent my calculated rap sheet. And they need to know your calculation. Even if they mentally know it, they have to see it on paper to put you in classes. You got to be classified DOC and what you calculated and what your rap sheet say. I got shipped from Concordia. This is where it literally started. So it's two beasts in this fight. This is a part of the slave trade. I got shipped from Concordia because I ended up going to the hospital after 2 or 3 days of my blood pressure being like over 170, like 170 over 107. I didn't know that was bad. I never struggled with high blood pressure. But thank God, one of the COs that worked there was actually, she worked at the hospital part-time also. And she came in and seen my blood pressure, that she wasn't a nurse, she like a tech or something there. A CNA, I think. She told them, y'all need to take her to the ER right now, like that stroke level. Mind you, at Concordia, you have correction officers giving medicine, which is supposed to be illegal. In the hospital, CNAs don't even give medicine. You have nurses out to get it. But in this private facility, you have COs that don't know what's going on. These people put me on blood pressure medicine and gave me some like 6 or 8 ibuprofens before they ever took me to the hospital or anything. They didn't diagnose me themselves. The CO did this.
Ibuprofen.
The CO, yes.
That can knock your kidneys out if you're not drinking enough water.
Yeah, so you had this going on. So when I went to the hospital, before I went to the hospital, they wouldn't take me. It was high. So I called my family, of course. My family called up there. And then they ended up taking me to the hospital. But the next day, a relative didn't know I had gone because I didn't come back till late that evening. She called. And when she called, the warden called me from the dorm, upset, and said, call your family right now and tell them, don't call back because your family checking on you gonna make things worse for you.
How?
Yes.
Y'all forgive me. I almost said a word. How in the world caring about a human being is gonna cause me to get in more trouble?
That's where it started. I was placed in lockdown the next day and shipped the day after that. I was placed in lockdown for being sick and got shipped to Tallulah. So mind you, the warden at Concordia,
you asked to be sick,
knew that they smoked in there, knew of my asthma condition, and you sent me to a smoking facility.
Intentional. Teach you a lesson.
That's retaliation.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take a little break because I need to take a breather. Because you can't make this kind of stuff up, y'all. I just want you to tell your story.
A lot of people don't realize we've had a lot of recent deaths in Tallulah.
And that's what I'm about to talk about. And we'll be right back. You know, what would have happened had you died?
They would
cover up.
Yeah.
It would have been a cover up.
That's what they did. The last 2 women that died there, they covered it up. And I don't know if their family know to this day what actually happened.
We do a good job of once something happens, and they put you in this position for something to happen, unless God intervenes, that when it happens, the only thing, we never knew that they were that sick, or we never knew that it didn't show us this, that, and the other, and they cover up the whole
And
thing.
that's
The
why
paper trail is covered up.
That's exactly why I made sure I contacted my family for everything. I made sure certain things was documented online, so if something were to happen, you're not going to be able to cover mine.
Right.
And that's what made them so upset. Because when you're in lockdown,
So my death ain't gonna be in vain. That's for sure. If I have to die through this, it won't be in vain.
It was to the point where I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had people that was not going to allow this to just be.
Right.
Especially knowing what was going on.
And so now, you're championing this.
One of my things I said in there, I said I would not stop until I get this place shut down for good. Like, I look people in the eyes and made that promise. Because if everybody who leaves there just choose to forget about it, it's going to be people constantly going through this. That's coming
Somebody else
behind us.
already going through it. Yeah. And so I owe it to someone else. Paying it forward. And we're back. T, in reading what your 501c3 is attempting to do, and I don't just say attempt, I believe that it's going to be revolutionary. That song, Do You Want a Revolution? I believe, because of what you've been through and the tenacity of that pit bull mentality, that I ain't gonna stop until those who've been through what I've been through, and you don't know my story. You don't know my story. You just see what people tell. And I want to thank God for giving you this platform, and as much platform as you need to tell it, because your story is thousands and millions of others who are going through what you've been through, but you have decided that I'm not going to let it
stop.
Yeah.
Not stop it. I'm gonna give you one of the things that really did it for me. I already was having these near-death experiences back to back in there. But mind you, when you're in lockdown, now they have this new thing that you can't take anything in lockdown with you besides your mat and your covers. Anything else. Which means you're no longer allowed to take your Bible in lockdown with you, absolutely.
Wow.
That's illegal. Legally, they cannot deny you the ability to practice your religion.
Right.
They're doing that now. Mind you, I didn't say you could take any soap, any towels.
Right. So
you have a facility full of people. We know the men get a little bit better treatment because they're right. Men will riot. They stick together. They actually, not saying that I'm for it, but they'll jump on the guards. They're gonna get what they need done.
Right.
Sadly, it has to go to that, and then now they're looking at these men. They're in the wrong.
Oh, they're violent. They are uprising.
So
nobody go and uprise in a facility because they just want an uprising.
I just said you can't take hygiene products back there. So mind you, you have women that's on their menstrual that's not being able to shower. You're supposed to shower Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays when you're in lockdown. That's only 3 out of 7 days. And you may or may not get that. The last time I was in lockdown 4 days consecutively without being able to shower, without having soap, without having a toothbrush. Like, I'm denied this stuff that I already have.
Right.
But the one, for no reason at all, she can't even explain to her. It's just because I said so. Why we no longer can bring our soap and towel to lockdown. I've never heard of that at any other prison ever.
That's very demeaning.
Then you're also held in lockdown 24 hours a day. Not 23 and a half, not 23. So you don't come out of that cell.
Come out.
They bring your food to you.
No exercise.
No, nothing. All of this is supposed to be illegal if you're a DOC inmate. So they're getting DOC funding to treat us less than animals. And I know I'm gonna start at home because our parish actually ship their women pretrial there now. So before you even convicted, you're going through this.
Wow.
But a lot of the sheriffs, I'm not gonna say all know. Some don't know them.
Right.
Some they've been lied to. I know some women got shipped there from, I want to say, may have been Caddo. They was excited because they were told, the warden told their warden that they're going to be in classes, they're going to be, even if you're not,
they make it good
even
now.
if you're not in lockdown though, you're still locked in a room 24 hours a day. A room, a building full of mold. Because they have the women in the back. DLC women in
That's
the back.
Madison.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in something they call the barracks. If you could see mold coming through the ceiling, what do you think is going on in the remainder of that building? So not only was I having these asthma attacks because of the smoke.
Yeah.
I'm in there with smoke, mold, and little to no ventilation.
So, with you out openly speaking and things like that, have you been threatened or anything?
No weapon formed against me shall prosper, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't really been speaking much at all. This is my first public appearance since I've been home.
Well, praise the Lord.
Yeah, shout out
95.9 The Bounce.
To Benita Moses for the invite. She made sure as soon as she knew I was home.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like I came home on the 27th of July.
Oh wow.
I mean June, 27th of June. And what we are today, the 20. What's the date? 24th? 24th of July. So I've been home almost a month now. The first few days, you know, it was just trying to readapt to society, reacclimate, all that. So then I started like going through this thing where I'm aggravated because the mechanic didn't fix my car while I was incarcerated.
Right.
And I'm trying to go to work now. I'm like, look, I need to go to work. I'm about taking care of myself. And what weekend before last, like the third weekend I was home, that Friday, I said, I got to reset. I'm not doing anything this week. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not going to try to look for a job or anything. I said, I'm going to rest. Because since I've been home, I hadn't rested. I was home, but I wasn't rested. Only thing I did that Saturday and Sunday was go to church. I was at home. And during that time, I woke up Sunday morning feeling so brand new. God gave it to me. Like, I've been doing all these community events, this out of pocket. I've been, everything I was doing from the coaching to the mentoring, a lot of the expenses was coming out of pocket. Because I didn't really I got sponsors, but not to a large magnitude because I was operating, you know, under an LLC. Right. So God put it on my mind, like, it's time. I've been had this idea in mind, but it's time to start this 501c3. So everything that you want to do, you can do it. It's no limit now. If you need to fly to DC to meet someone, you can do that because your organization is going to take care of it. And that's when I knew, like, don't focus on getting the job right now. Don't focus on work. God got you.
Right. Well, let's talk about that right quick, because and let's tell our audience, what is it that your 501c3 is going to be doing? Okay, so the Raven Phoenix organization is a 501c3 that's geared towards, it's not a race thing, it doesn't matter, it's about the injustice as a whole. But not only that, when we get to speaking on injustice, that's just like when you was talking about the violence, what we can do. I don't know if you realize it or not, I don't do stop the violence events. I don't. Because typically those events come after a violent event has happened. And not only that, we always talk about stop the violence, but that's so cliche. We have to preach stop the things that lead up to the violence. And the problem is our people don't want to be real about things. That's like, if you know I'm into something, if you're my father, you're my uncle, my brother, you know I'm into this certain stuff, and you support it all the time. But then when something goes bad, you crying, you hurt, you surprised, you shocked. How? How? So we have to be real with ourselves as an individual. We have to be real with ourselves as a community. Even when we're talking about as a black community, we have to start taking accountability. So that leads to
part of the organization, one of the biggest things I want to do is have this mediation between like victims, family, victims.
Right.
Because I've watched the DA tell even a family that said, I forgive them. I don't want to see them do the max. I want to speak for them. And the DA saying, no, we want them to do the max. We want them to do 100 years. So I've seen them talk a person into being okay with it. Why? Why do that have to be the case? Let's get more. If you've been sentenced to this time, this family forgave you. Let's open up this communication where y'all can heal together, because violent crimes affect both parties.
That's right.
It's not just because now you've created another victim.
Right.
Once they into the system,
it's
another victim now.
The victim too.
But you've created another victim. When you send a person to be incarcerated in Louisiana, they're not getting rehabilitated. So now you're creating another victim. Like, mind you, we're talking about over 500 something women at Madison Parish Correctional Facility, and you probably have 22 working, and maybe 60 in class. The only educational class they offer there is a GED.
Oh, come on.
So if you've already graduated high school, is no educational program there. But you have people there that have 5, 10, 15. I think the highest I've seen, someone has 25 years they have to do, and you want them sitting in a room.
That's
every day.
Be hardening.
It's no rehab, no therapy. They don't even have mental health.
And that's the other thing I was going to ask. Are you receiving any type of?
I'm not
for your.
Right
I know
now.
you're going to have anxiety. Listen, and trauma.
I don't even like being around people.
Yeah. The trauma and thing, and we should have. Let me tell you something. Just for the fact of what Africans have been through. It automatically they should give it to us free for the trauma that we've gone through. And I know, listen, I'm feeling you, T. I feel it, and for some reason I can say I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I don't know about nobody else, but for what you've. And I can feel what you've been through, I'm thankful to you for being able to share to help somebody else become delivered, and help somebody else not to go through this and tell your story. But I'm going to tell you something. I feel the pain.
This is the thing, though. Remember we was talking about if I were to pass away in there because of my asthma attacks, make sure it wouldn't be in vain. I'm making sure this entire experience not in vain. I had a lot of people there tell me, I believe you. Look me in the eyes. I know you're gonna go home and change it. I know this.
Yeah.
This
so
people at their lowest point, they believe in me. So I know God. Even though I had to endure everything I endured, it was all a part of the fight. I had to realize that all our greats has gone through this. Nelson Mandela was incarcerated with 27 years.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was incarcerated because he refused to go to war.
Stripped from his title.
Martin Luther King was incarcerated. Rosa Parks was incarcerated. Malcolm X was incarcerated. So all of our greats has taken this walk. So who am I to deny myself of that? And when you fully surrender to God, mind you, I was out on bond before I had to go experience this. So God could have chose to go any which way.
Right.
But me going through what I went through, every part of that was planned. I can really fight now because I know. Mind you, I never experienced anything like that before. But just look at God, how I was only put there to the time where this last time I was in lockdown, I couldn't do nothing but talk to God. Like I'm talking about fall to my knees, tears down my eyes, because I don't even have my Bible to read now.
Yeah.
And at this time, mind you, with the cell they put me in segregation, right across from it was the office where the CO sit. And when they put me in lockdown, it was this lieutenant there named Barnes who had it out for me from day one. Don't know why, don't know outside of here or nothing. But I know our time getting short, so I'm going to say this. What made it easier, I'm going to say easier, what me able to deal with her was, one time I asked, I say, look me in the face when you're talking to me. This woman could not look up at all. And she said, I don't even look my own mother in the eyes. So now I know I'm dealing with a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm dealing with a spirit.
Right.
Because what type of human being you can't
don't
look
even
the
have
person
a
that
conscience.
birthed you.
Right.
And I don't know why. But this same lieutenant had just lost a child like November of last year. They say that was the only thing that changed her momentarily. And now she's right
empty.
back to the same
But
person.
she's empty. Something's going on.
Something's going on. Because how can you even now know what it feels like to birth something and lose it, and yet you still can treat somebody else's like this for no reason?
And we have people in our facilities doing this.
But and the last kicker, Tallulah is probably it's over 90%, maybe 95, 96% black.
I know.
So it's us doing this to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's how hurtful that is to see someone that you look at every day that can be your aunt, your sister, your mother, and they're the ones treating you like that. It was only one Caucasian CO, and she ended up leaving. Now the warden is though. The warden is. Everyone else is black.
Well, I talk about self-hate. That's one of the biggest things in our community. We hate ourselves.
Like I don't know. I'm still at loss for words sometimes, and I'm a real vocal person.
Oh yeah.
Very articulate, and for me to be like sometimes talking to me, when I'm talking about this is sometimes you just can't find the words.
Quickly, can you give any information as far as how people can connect with you?
So on all social medias, you can actually just Google at Tigris Johnson, TygrisJohnson. I also have a live change.org petition right now. You can actually just go to change.org and put in Tallulah if you don't see the actual link. And we starting, the revolution has started. As many signatures as possible. Also, anyone that's ever been incarcerated at Madison Parish, aka Tallulah, whether when it was in a juvenile facility, men or women, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me.
So, well, I'm not gonna ask this question on live, but I'll ask it off because I want to, I want to see where we at, because I'm gonna tell you something again. I know this has to be a radical thing, and listen, I've heard so much about Tallulah, but now I believe it, because you're not an easy person to break.
Yeah.
But I can feel the pain. Yeah, that how can another human being treat another human being this way?
That was the part.
You understand?
That was the part.
With that being said, listen, y'all. Normally, I can say have a great weekend, and I do want you all to have a great weekend, but I want you to keep this on your mind, and I want you to know that we can help in changing how residents of supposed to be incarceration that will transform you, not that will make you worse, but we have been challenged today, and so God bless you all. God keep things my prayer.
One thing I wanted to say before we go, I just want to thank Norris Henderson. I don't know if y'all know who Norris is. Chico Yancey. These were two men who started the VOTE organization. VOTE was started inside of Angola.
Oh, wow.
By men that were given life sentences that was never supposed to walk free again, and now they're out. VOTE is gone global. So even if you don't want to become a part of my organization or this organization, just get involved, please. If you have family members incarcerated, please, and everybody who know me know I don't use the word please, but please have an open line of communication, some way that they can reach out and just say, I'm okay. Check on your family regular, because y'all don't understand what they go through. And I've seen people go through worse than what I went through. So imagine if you feel away about what I went through, imagine people going through worse.
Right. Well, love you all. You can't do nothing about it. Right. We're going to get the picture, but you go ahead and kill the cameras.
All day, every day. We are
Do you have
Natchitoches home for urban vibes.
are you suing them? Or
That's